Hey, how you doing today? I am Tequila Coleman. In today's video, I want to speak to my prophets who God has chosen to lead other kingdom spouses, God ordained spouses into their marriage promise. If you are a prophet who God is speaking to, He's giving you prophetic words to release to your community regarding their God ordained love story, but yet you are going through, I want to speak to you in this video. And I want to encourage your spirit, but I also want to help you to navigate this season of your life because here's the truth. Just because you're a prophet, that don't mean that your love story is just flowing smoothly. No, just because you a prophet, that don't mean you don't go through things. That don't mean you know you you don't feel some of the similar things, the same things other God ordained spouses or standards are feeling as well. You probably going through it as well. You might be coming up under attacks from the enemy. You might be coming up under rejection and betrayal from your prodigal spouse, right? So how do you continue to keep going, despite what you going through? But God is telling you, He giving you these dreams, He giving you these visions to go ahead and release to your community. But He also revealing to you some of the hurtful things that's going on in your love story. This is what I want to talk to you about. So, this is something I had to learn quickly because when God called me to God ordained marriage in June of 2022, it was right after the betrayal. It was right after, heavy rejection, right? And I remember saying to myself, oh my God, because see, let me just say this, because when I was coaching and mentoring the single mothers, that was like a similar situation. God called me to share my story in the single mother community, with the single moms. He called me to share my story of being abandoned while pregnant, but how He healed my heart and delivered me from depression in as little as 30 days, right? But one thing I have noticed when I stepped into that community, as I began to serve, and as I began to, coach the single mothers and listen to some of the things that they were going through, what they were going through began to trigger me. It began to trigger, unhealed wound. It began to bring back memories that I didn't want to come back, right? But I had to learn how to continue to push forward. I still had to learn, how to take these triggers, right, that were coming up within me, and began to, you know, sit with this trigger and ask this trigger, what are you trying to tell me? Like, why is you still here? What do I need to do, to bring healing to this particular area of my life, right? And so again, in June of 2022, that's when God called me to God ordained marriage. And it was right after the betrayal and the rejection um of the person who God has chosen for me. And I kept feeling, I was feeling triggered, and I would get mad all over again, when I would be in my sessions, because I'm hearing how these prodigals are showing up and some of the things that the clients were going through. And it was reminding me of some of the things that I went through. So I could resonate with that. But I kept telling myself, Tequila, because one thing I have learned about what I experienced from the past is that don't bleed on people who didn't cut you, right? I have learned that because I had people who took their hurt and pain out on me when I never hurt them. I had people who did me dirty, who betrayed me when I was loyal. You see? So I had to remind myself, when you step into God ordained marriage, you got to keep things in perspective. Don't bleed on the people because they wasn't the ones who hurt you, Tequila. This is what I kept telling myself, right? So I kept in perspective who hurt me. I knew who the who was, right? So I kept it in perspective, and I made sure to not bleed on these individuals. I made sure that even though I was feeling triggered in the session, okay, you still got to stay in control of yourself. You still got to show up as a coach and a mentor, right? And so that is my advice to you, okay, to my prophets who God has called to lead and bring the kingdom spouses into their marriage promise, or the God ordained spouse into their marriage promise. Even though God has called you to this, and you might be even going through your own thing in your own marriage promise. The thing is, number one, you have to understand you have a job to do. Okay, you work for God. God has chosen you for such a time as this. So yes, you might feel triggered. You might be going through your own thing, but at the end of the day, the people need you. They need your help. They need you to keep showing up. They need you to keep on, revealing, or yeah, like giving the dreams and the vision that the Lord has given to you so that you can share with your community. They still need you to show up and serve. Okay. Always have a servant mentality. All right. And try to just I tell this is what I tell myself. It's not about you, Tequila. I tell myself that it's not about you. When I start getting in my feelings, and when I be like, because I have my moments when God reveals something to me about what's going on in my love story and I don't like it, and I get in my feelings, and I might tell myself, I don't feel like doing no video today, right? And I had to tell myself it ain't about you. Someone need to hear this video. Someone needs some encouragement. Someone need a revelation or some clarity. And so it's not about you, Tequila. You still got to show up. You still got to serve, okay? Because this is what God has chosen for me, right? So that's the mentality I want you to have. You still got to show up. It's not about you. This is about the people. This is about, helping them to continue to stand for their God ordained marriage promise. This is about serving them. Okay. The more you serve, it's going to take your mind off of your own problems and how you feel in that moment. Okay. And after that, the next thing, I want to just recommend to you, start, healing if you're not already. See, here, this is how I have identified how God is working in this process. So he had called you, his prophet, to go ahead and prophesy the dreams and visions, the revelation God give you to the people, right? Concerning their God ordained love story. And God know you going through it too. So God will send destiny helpers, okay, across your path who will pour into you, right? He will send people, destiny helpers, divine connections across your path who, God want you to connect with. God may want you to enroll in their programs. He may want you to hire them as your coach, right? So that they can help you heal and get to that next level. So he's not going to, just leave you hanging. He's not going to have you just serving, and you just over here feeling some type of way. No, he's sending help for everyone. We have to recognize that help and then tap into that help, okay, when it is presented before us. But the one thing I want you to take away from this video is that you have to have a mindset that tells you it's not about me. The people need me. God has chosen me for such a time as this. So I got to pour into them. I still got to serve. Despite how I feel, I still got to show up, right? I have learned ever since the single mother community that the more I serve, it takes my mind off of my problems. The more I serve, it gives me more revelation, and it brings me into a level of healing because I'm serving, right? I'm getting revelation. I'm getting a different perspective, right? As I'm helping someone else heal. As I help you heal, I'm healing, right? So, and this is, what I want you to take from this video. So stay encouraged. Make sure you get yourself connected to community. Okay. Make sure, you know who God is highlighting to you. Your destiny helpers, and you stay connected with them. You allow them to pour into you and into your spirit and build you back up, and stay in prayer, stay in, your devotion with the Lord. Okay, because that's another one. When I speak in tongues every single day, that helps me a lot. I notice the more I speak in tongues, the more revelation, different perspective God give me concerning things, the more healing hit me, the more strength, comes into my body, right? But also when I read the word, I'm also getting revelation, different perspective from the word, and that brings strength. right? That increases my faith. So stay connected to the Lord throughout this process, okay? So with that, I am Tequila Coleman. I'll talk to you real soon. Take care.